how can you move on from someone that you love, especially that person that is not loving you back, or that person that will not let you forge ahead? Like, yeah, they go and they come, one excuse after the other. You're investing emotions, you're not getting anything back, but you just can't leave. You feel stuck. You think of the love making, it blows your mind. You break down. You think of the connection, the way they talk to you, maybe how they're, sometimes it's just the way they kiss you, or and they know that weakness, so when they come back, that's that very thing is where they start. Or you find yourself going back to the person every minute. You call them, you check on them, you tell yourself, today I'm not doing it, I'm not going to call again, I'm not going to check again. But see, tomorrow, the first thing you wake up in the morning, you're worried. You want to know what they're doing. Are they okay? Are they fine? And oh, it's time to move on. But how do you do that? Let me help you. Hello and welcome to Tips and Secrets with me, Pauline. In this channel, we talk about relationships with yourself and with others. This edition is for that person that is struggling with a relationship that is not meant to be. And by the way, thank you for those that have been subscribing. Thank you so much for those that like and share, those who have been commenting. I appreciate you so much. And I want to encourage you to continue to share the videos. Share. I just believe that the messages that I'm putting in these videos can really bless a life. So, and the only way those who need it can get it is when we share it. Because the more we share it, the more the algorithm keeps it open for many more people to see. Okay, so keep sharing. Before we get into how to walk away from such a relationship, you want to know why you are stuck in the first place. The very first reason, most of the time, it's because the relationship started at a time of vulnerability, at the time when you were most vulnerable. So that person was like that, that knight in shiny armor. And so most of the time, the energy, that emotional attachment was formed because of the thing you felt when that person first came into your life. So now some part of you feels like, nah, irrespective of what the person is doing, it's like you owe it to that person to be nice. You owe it to that person to stick around. You owe it to that person. You know that feeling of indebtedness? Yes, that's one reason. The second thing is pity. Sometimes we fall in love with people out of sympathy. We feel sorry for them for what they are going through, and then we feel like it's our place to light the light inside of them, like it's our place to make them happy. So we'll go the extra mile just to prove that point that we are the ones that can fix that situation. It's like the person came crying to you, and then you were there for that person. You see, you met that person at their own point of vulnerability. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So the first one is you were met. The relationship began in your point of vulnerability, and the second one is you met that person at their point of vulnerability, and for some reason you did something that really created a bond. So that thing that you did, it's something they're using now, like an emotional blackmail. That's what I call it, because it's like, if you leave me, I'll die. Don't leave me. I'm going to kill myself. You see you find yourself sticking around, but it's for the wrong reason. Or a third possible cause, it's because you have not met yourself. You have not met yourself. So because of that, you're still thinking that that person is the only one that understands you, is the only one that can make you happy, is the only one that knows who you are. So even when you see that it is an evil in the sense that it's holding your life down, you still just can let go. You see that? Because you've not met yourself. I did a video earlier on how to find your way down to that self, that person inside of you, that because that woman inside of you, or the man, if you're a man listening to me, is circled with some light. It was made in that place of total peace. And when you meet that part of your life, a lot of things will change. You see that? Yeah. So I've given you 3 points. Now let's look at how to, like, that feeling of now talk to my finger. Yes. Let's see how to fix it. How you can walk away from such a relationship. The first step to take is to acknowledge that feeling. Acknowledge the presence of that emotion. One big mistake is thinking that we can deny the presence of that emotion or that feeling and then, get on with life and everything will be fine. It's a lie. When you do that, the devil is just looking at you like, oh, look at this mumu. Like, what was she doing? Sir. The reason being that emotion is present. The moment you felt something or some likeness for that person, that emotion was generated. The energy was generated and it is there. So how you get rid of that is not by denying the presence of it, because it's just like it's like you say something just cooling off and relaxing, waiting for the right time to strike. You see, so it's there. So you have to acknowledge that yes, it is there, and acknowledging means you're looking at it on both sides. Understand? Yes, it is there. I once felt something for this guy, but the other side is this guy doesn't like me as much as I like him, or this guy is not good for me, or everything surrounding this relationship is toxic. It's not helping me grow. So that's the other side of it. So acknowledging it, I'm acknowledging the two faces, the one that is coming from me and the response that is coming from that guy. Take it from me. I've worn that shoe. I know exactly how it feels. If you do not acknowledge both sides of it, if you're only looking at what you are feeling, you are rather going to be expanding on that emotion. You will be finding yourself even more attached and finding it even more difficult to let go. So you have to acknowledge both sides. One is, yes, I like him. Yes, I felt something for him. Yes, I still feel something for him. The other side is, but he doesn't like me that much. Or, but him and I, it's not a good piece. It is holding my life down. Or, but this is toxic. I am not growing. This is not productive. The me that I like to see and live with, it's not in view when I'm with this person. So this is not good. You see that? You must be able to acknowledge that other side, that response. If you're only doing the one that is coming from you, there's nothing to counteract. Guess what happens? It comes here and it's expanding. See that? Then you still find yourself in that same position, stuck. And when you're acknowledging that response, when you're acknowledging the response from the other person, don't do it making excuses for their behavior, because that is one big error that we make, especially women. You will say he doesn't like you as much, then you say because I've grown fat, or because I'm not stylish, or because I am not fair skin, or because I am not this, maybe I'm not cooking for him or cleaning for him, or because I'm not giving him stuff. If you find yourself trying to acknowledge the response of the other person and all you can get are excuses, it means your biggest problem is the fact that you've not met yourself. So you're still in that phase where you're holding yourself responsible for every treatment that is meted on you. Just a very toxic place to be in, because you are the one destroying your life. Understand? So when you're acknowledging, you do not make excuses for what has happened. He doesn't like you that much. Bam! He doesn't. Another thing you want to do is do not avoid this person. Avoiding that person, it's never going to help you. Why? Because you just send that emotion to sleep. Even if you stayed away from that person for 10 years, You sent the emotion to sleep. You have not dried the life out of it. You have just sent it to sleep. There's a difference between a dead plant and that which is weak from the sun. Yeah, you see a plant in the afternoon when the sun was hot. You notice that the leaves they're weak. They are not fallen. They are not. They have not died. They're just weak. When it's evening and the sun is going down, they're getting back. Because they're coming back in contact with what helps them to grow. See what I'm saying? Do not think that by avoiding this person, you'll fix the problem. Like I said, the devil you're just entertaining the devil. Because it's like, okay, girl, let me see how far you can go. We're coming back soon. You get that? And they come again, you see. So don't avoid the person. Rather, point number 2 or step 2 is replacing that space, the space that emotion, that person had occupied in your mind, in your heart, with something else that you like to grow. Something else that you can build an emotion on. This is the point where you want to give another person a chance in your life, not to smite the other person, not to get back or trying to make that person jealous. No, no. You're doing it because you have acknowledged the response from the other person. Remember step 1, that acknowledgement part? You've acknowledged the response from the other person. So now what you're doing is, instead of having that emotion grow and then the response is not coming back as you desire, you're giving that space to some other person so that the response can be in alignment with what you're feeling. You get it? If you don't get it, ask a question. Ask a question in the comment section below, and I'll definitely get to you. And or you can ask me questions on Facebook. Many people reach out to me on Facebook. Look for Pauline A. Ja, the page. You find me there. You can ask me any question. Okay? So long as you have to do with anything that I know, I'll answer you. I'll try. So like I was saying, occupy that space. You have to give someone or something that position. It cannot be empty. Even if you've acknowledged, remember, your mind cannot be empty. If something was growing inside of it and you think that it's time to take it out, what you do is give it space to another thing. That thing that was there is going to dry out. And then the one with the new thing you've put in, it's going to blossom. So this is the point where, like I said, give that space to some other person. Let someone else love you. Get into a relationship, the one that you know is healthy, and allow yourself to build an emotion with this new person. If it's not a relationship that you want, occupy that moment with something. Now, I'm not saying someone, okay? I'm saying something, which means you should be using that space to build something else about your life. It could be purpose, it could be your function. Step 3 is all those moments and times that you used to hang out and marry with this person. What you want to do is use that time for something that is rewarding. It has to be enjoyable. And here's the reason. The moment you had spent with this person, right? Your subconscious had registered it. So during those moments, that person's name is going to pop up to your mind. Okay? Remember, your subconscious, it's like the soil. So all those things you were doing, they were like seeds. You were throwing on it. Get it? So it's growing. Those things are growing. So the only way you take it out is take the life out of it. And for you to take life out of a thought, it's to give that space to something else. Then your mind will gradually expand on that thing that you've given it. For example, If you were hanging out, say every Friday night you were going to club with this guy, or with this girl, if you were the man listening to me. If every Friday night you were hanging out with this person, and then, but now you know that it's time to move on. This is no longer helping you. On Friday nights, those hours that you used to spend with that person, spend it to do something else that is rewarding, that is in alignment with what you now want for your life. And give yourself room to let that thing blossom. You can teach your mind to do anything. You just have to know, have that not that perception active in you. You can teach your mind. It's your mind. You can give it the order. You can show it what to look at. Remember, it's not by denying the presence of the other thing, but it's by acknowledging it, both sides, and then giving it something new to focus on. It's like somebody died, right? You cannot say, no, this person did not die. You just be like, you've run mad. You understand? Yes. The person died. Yes, you've acknowledged it. Now, you also acknowledge the fact that, okay, I will not see this person again. And for you to manage that loss, those moments that you used to spend with that person, you can't keep it empty. If you keep it empty, what happens is that during those moments, your subconscious will remind you of that person, the things you used to do with the person. And then it will expand even more, and then you get in that soggy mood. You understand? It's the same thing. With this one, with trying to walk away from that love that is not loving. You have to replace it. Okay? During those hours. Replace those moments. Maybe if you like writing, you write. You start to build a story. Use that moment to build a story. Such that when and it has to be something, remember, it has to be something good, rewarding, enjoyable. Why? Because the moment you were spending with that person was fun to you. That's why you were doing it over and over and over. It was fun. And so you have to put something in it that has a stronger energy. That's the only way you can dry life out of a thought or some perception that was already growing inside of you. You have to give something else that space. And that thing you're giving space to has to be stronger. Okay, so point number 4, what you want to do is meet yourself. Meet you. I did a video earlier on the road to self-worth. You see it at the end of this video. Get to meet yourself. Because when you meet yourself, you may just realize that you and that person were never ever meant to be. And the truth is that there's so many people out there who are stuck. It's uncountable. You understand? There's so many people having that trouble. So please share this video. Share it. You just don't know whose life you bless. The world we live in, it's hard for us to really confide in people. Why? Especially the ones we know. Because, you may become the topic of discussion in their homes, in their families, So it's hard. So when you see things like this, don't assume that now everybody in my circle is doing fine. You do not have an idea what they are going through. So share it. It's going to help. It will help some people. That will be all for now. Take good care of you. Stay blessed. Come back again next week for something juicy as usual. Bye.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so